In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we have a new lesson for second secondary grade, first semester, English subject, revision, Unit 3, Unit 4, Mega Go 3. Today we will revise lessons in Units 3 and 4, vocabulary, reading, grammar, and writing. What does ecotourism mean? Try to remember the word eco and ecotourism. What does it mean? Eco means related to the earth or environment. So ecotourism means responsible travel to natural areas that conserves the environment and improves the well-being of local people. Now, we are going to revise vocabulary of lessons in Unit 3 and 4. Commercial, trade to make profit. Relatively, comparatively. Undisturbed, quiet, peaceful, calm. Ecosystem, environmental system. Surface, roof. Widespread, common, popular. Air, to transmit to an audience by radio or television station. Contestants, people who take part in a contest. Plot, to plan something secretly. Puzzling, something that is difficult to understand or solve. Inspiring, something important. Broadcast, to transmit to an audience by radio or television station. Prosperous, someone who has had financial success. Version, a variation of an earlier or original thing. Now, complete the sentences with these words. We have air, contestants, plot, puzzling, broadcast, inspiring, prosperous, and version. Now, the words that mean to transmit to an audience by radio or television station are to what? To air and broadcast. Excellent. To air and broadcast. So we crossed these two words. Number 2, to plan something secretly is to plot. Excellent. Someone who has had financial success is prosperous. Something important is inspiring. Number 5, people who take part in a contest are called contest. We still have contestants, puzzling, version. Contestants. Excellent. Number 6, something that is difficult to understand or solve is puzzling. Number 7, a variation of an earlier or original thing is a version. Pristine, not spoiled. Preserve, to keep safe from injury, harm, and destruction. Conservation, careful protection of something. Incentive, something that causes a person to act. Deforestation, the action of cutting down trees and clear forests. Characteristics, distinguishing traits or qualities. Remote, geographically isolated. Reduction, Listen, diminishing. Lush, abundantly green, fertile. Now, match the words with their meanings. Pristine, I, not spoiled, excellent. Preserve, what's the answer? F, to keep safe from injury, harm, or destruction. Conservation, E, careful protection of something. Incentive, what's the answer of incentive? It is C, something that causes a person to act. Deforestation, easy, cutting down forests. A, the action of cutting down trees and clear forests. Characteristics, B, distinguishing traits or qualities. What about remote? H, geographically isolated. Reduction, G, lissing, diminishing, and benign, lush. We still have D, which is abundantly green, fertile. Now, time for reading. We are going to read together a text about ecotourism. See the world while saving it. Let's read.
Ecotourism. See the world while saving it. Imagine vacationing in a place of stunning natural beauty. Picture yourself relaxing on a pristine beach in Belize, exploring the desert on a camel in Dubai, or following lions and zebras in Kenya. Now imagine that while enjoying these experiences, you are also helping to preserve the environment, protect wildlife, and support local communities. Sound too good to be true? It isn't. Such vacations are part of the fastest growing trend in the travel industry. The trend is called ecotourism. While ecotourism was almost unheard of before the 1990s, it has quickly become a multi-billion-dollar industry. But what exactly is ecotourism? These are some of its characteristics. It involves travel to natural, often remote destinations. These are often protected areas where development is limited. Ecotourism destinations focus on recycling, water conservation, and using renewable energy sources. It builds environmental awareness. As visitors explore an area, they also learn about it. It provides an economic incentive to preserve the environment and raises money to help protect it. It creates financial opportunities and jobs for the local population.
Now, let's read the questions. What does pristine beach mean? And give two characteristics of ecotourism. What does pristine beach mean? It is a beach in its original condition. There aren't a lot of hotels or restaurants. It is clean and without a lot of garbage. Now, number two, give two characteristics of ecotourism. Let's read the text again. Here, there are some of its characteristics. For example, it involves travel to natural, often remote destinations. These are often protected areas where development is limited. Ecotourism destinations focus on recycling, water conservation, and using renewable energy sources. So, now we are going to just write two characteristics of ecotourism. These are what we have read before. Now, what are the 5 things that you expect to have a hotel. Now, we are going to talk about another reading text. Warm up. What are the 5 things that you expect a hotel to have? Give 5 things that you expect a hotel to have. For example, you may say hotels may have beds, windows, bathroom, and what? Give 5 things that expect a hotel to have. Yes, now let's read texts. We are going to listen and discuss together these 2 texts.
Jules Undersea Lodge, Florida, USA. Undoubtedly, most people have never been to a hotel like Jules Undersea Lodge before. This extremely unusual hotel, located in Key Largo, Florida, is on the ocean floor. Guests scuba dive to the hotel's 1 unit, which is over 19 feet 6 meters below the surface. The unit includes 2 bedrooms, a television, and a 50-inch 107-centimeter circular window that offers views of passing sea life.
Capsule hotels throughout Japan. In recent years, capsule hotels have gained widespread popularity in Japan. Capsule hotels are hotels in which guests stay in a small sleeping space that is just big enough for a bed. There is so little room that some people can scarcely sit up in these capsules. However, in expensive cities, capsule hotels offer a relatively inexpensive alternative to more traditional hotels.
Now, you have some questions about the previous text. Which hotels have very small rooms? We have 2 kinds of rooms, which are capsule hotels and Jules Undersea Lodge. Which of them have very small rooms? Of course, capsule hotels. Now, which hotel do you have to scuba dive to get to? Easy. It is Jules Undersea Lodge. Find the word in the article about Jules Undersea Lodge that means round. The word is circular. Which hotels are not very expensive? I think it is that hotels which have very small rooms. So the answer is capsule hotels. Now we are going to talk about writing. When you write an informal letter, plan what information you are going to include in each paragraph. Close in an appropriate way and sign off with "Speak soon," "Give my best wishes to your family," "Write to me soon," and so on. Open in a friendly way with an appropriate greeting and tell your friend why you are writing. When you are giving news such as an up and coming trip you will take, give as many details as you can. Describe the place or the experience as much as possible. Note down your feelings, expectations, assumptions, questions, and doubts. Now, time for grammar. Warm up. What do you know about the following? Adverbs of degree. What do you remember about this thing? Adverbs of degree. It is a rule, of course. And what about the future tense? Direct and indirect objects. Making and declining special requests. We have studied these rules and now we are going to revise them. Adverbs of degree. Adverbs of degree tell us about the intensity of a verb, adjective, or other adverb. Some common adverbs of degree are absolutely, completely, hardly, quite, so, almost, enough, just, rather, to, barely, extremely, nearly, scarcely, and very. Adverbs of degree usually go before the main verb they modify. For example, I've almost finished packing. I nearly missed my flight. Now, they go before. Before what? The main verb. Where is the main verb here? The main verb in this sentence is finished. This is the main verb. And missed is the main verb too. So it comes before here. Almost before the main verb. Nearly before the main verb they modify. Adverbs of degree usually go before the adjective or adverb they modify. For example, the travel agent was extremely helpful. Helpful is adjective. Helpful is adjective. He read the map very carefully. Carefully is adverb. Carefully is adverb. When enough is used as an adverb of degree, it is placed after adjectives and adverbs. So it comes after. For example, is your coffee hot enough? We don't say enough hot. You're not speaking loudly enough. You're not saying you're not speaking enough loudly. So it is after. Sentence adverbs. Sentence adverbs modify an entire sentence or a whole clause within a sentence. So it modifies entire sentence, the whole sentence, or a whole clause. Some common sentence adverbs are actually, certainly, frankly, obviously, probably, undoubtedly. Some sentence adverbs usually go at the beginning of sentence, like frankly, I'm disappointed in the quality of this hotel. So it came at the beginning. Other sentence adverbs can be after the verb be, like you are obviously having a good time. So here is the verb to be. It came after. Before simple tense of other verbs, like he carefully spent. Here is the verb. It came before the verb. After the auxiliary in a compound verb. What is the auxiliary? Has. So the sentence adverb came after the auxiliary in a compound verb. Now, do you remember this timeline? We said when we see this arrow and the line in the center represents now. So this timeline represents what? Past. And this represents future. This represents simple present, and this present progressive. Now we are going to talk about future. The future tense. The future tense is used to refer to an event or occurrence that has not yet happened or expected to happen in the future. Simple future has two different forms in English, either be going to will and present progressive continuous. So either be going to will or present progressive continuous. We use be going to for the future to talk about plans. For example, I'm going to travel to Jordan. This is the affirmative form. The negative form, I'm not going to visit Peter. We can use it with yes no question, like are you going to travel to Jordan? The short answer, affirmative, yes I am. And the negative short answer, no I'm not. Now we're going to talk about direct and indirect objects. A direct object is a noun or pronoun that receives the action of a verb. It answers the question what or who. Examples: John wrote the poem. John likes his new teacher. The poem and his new teacher are what? Direct object. These are direct objects. An indirect object tells us to or for whom the action is done. Now we are going to talk about indirect object. There must be a direct object for there to be an indirect object. So we must have a direct object to have an indirect object. Example: John wrote the poem for his mother. Poem is the direct object. The poem is the direct object. His mother is the indirect object. His mother is the indirect object. John read the poem to the audience. Again, the audience is the indirect object. If there is a preposition, the indirect object goes after the direct object. Here we have the preposition to. Since we have preposition, the indirect object goes after here, after the direct object. Example: she gave the remote control to me. If there is no preposition, the indirect object goes before. So it goes before if there is no preposition. Goes before the direct object. She gave me the remote control. No, me came before the direct object. With the direct object is a pronoun, the pronoun goes before the indirect object. She gave it to me. Now, we're going to talk about making and declining special requests. To make special request, you can use the following. Wonder if it would be possible. Do you think it would be possible? And you continue or you complete with the phrases that you want. To decline special requests, you can use the following phrases. I'm afraid, I can't or we can't, or you can't, etc. That won't be possible. Unfortunately, that's not possible. We can't do it because I wish it were possible, but the problem is, and you can't continue with your excuse to decline the request. Now, this is the end of our today's lesson. Today, we revised reading. We talked about Ecotourism, see the whole world while saving it. Answer the comprehension questions about the hotels and ecotourism. Also, in grammar, we revised adverbs of degree, the future tense, direct and indirect objects, making and declining special requests. We also revised vocabularies that we have studied in units 3 and 4, like commercial, undisturbed, ecotourism, surface, widespread, pristine, preserve, deforestation, lush, broadcast, etc. Also, we studied how to write an informal letter. These are our today's references. And for more information, you can visit our sites or contact us on Twitter or on our free phone. Thank you for your listening. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.